Well, hello and welcome. I'm Sue Britz,
And I'm Tina Lokkbakk. Welcome to Retired.
the podcast where we talk about what life is like when you put on new tread, new wheels that move us to our next adventure.
Sue, I was wondering if we could talk about marriage.
We've done that a lot, haven't we? We did
have.
that a lot. Remember
But
that
we're
book
gonna-
we read together?
Oh, well, that was more about divorce than the marriage. It was like the benefits of divorce,
Okay.
as
okay.
opposed to the reasons why marriage is something to do. But
Okay.
today I want to talk a little bit more about it because I was just at a wedding in New Jersey.
In Jersey. Have you ever been to New Jersey before?
Actually, it was quite frightening in that, yes, and the last time I was there was on my honeymoon.
Ew.
And we drove through the United States in 28 days. And
Ew.
New Jersey was one of the places that we stayed the night, and one of the better places that we ever stayed at during our trip.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that memory.
It was a Best Western.
God. Was
But
it the best Western?
Best Western. Because it was a Motel 6, I think, that got converted or something. I don't know. But we stayed in so many Motel 6s that it was like a joy to reach the Best Western.
Oh my word, a Motel 6. It's funny because we are of a certain generation, so people know that a Motel 6 it used to be $6. And then when it got to be, not realistic that it was $6, it was be like 1966 or 1666.
Oh, I
was
didn't even know that, Sue.
Oh my word, see, we're that far apart.
I know,
generationally.
Like we're just enough apart that I missed
And
that.
now they don't even bother to do anything with the 6.
No.
I was driving along the highway the other day, and a nearby one was 95.99 or something like that. They didn't even do 66 or anything, or 96.66. They don't even try.
You know what? That's so lame. If that's how it started, like that's what makes it cute and different. But yeah.
But what else would it be?
The name's cute. I've stayed in so many Motel 6s that I absolutely refuse unless like there's a catastrophic occurrence and there is nowhere else to stay.
Yeah, it's
out of principle.
They're kind of creepy these days because they're that old. And I don't know about the rest of the nation, but at least in our local area, they were used during COVID to house unhoused people. And so the rooms have been trashed. And there have always been like a lot of the crime happens in that area, around that area, and so it's it's not a pleasant thing.
I do have to make one plug that the last Motel 6 I stayed in was in Santa Barbara, and it was so cute. They did it all retro.
Uh-oh. Our audio
one
dropped.
Nice Motel 6, and that is the one in Santa Barbara.
Okay. Well, and did you have a glitch on your side on the audio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we'll keep going with it, folks.
And we'll see what it is.
We're having internet issues. I've never said that we've had good internet here in this end of town. I mean, it's so crazy. You'd think that in a college town, that there would be excellent internet. No, it's not the way it is. It's some of the crappiest internet there ever is. I remember at the school I used to teach at, that was like it's in my end of town, and so there's like this hole of dead service, and until the district internet came through and you had all their servers and stuff.
Really?
It is crapola. Yeah.
So
Excuse my language.
Maybe it's so excellent, but the demand on it is too large.
No.
I'm trying to look at it positively, Sue.
No, it's because we lack a tower and all that. So, Okay, so you were at a wedding. Who got married?
Yes. So
you are friends with this person, and she's getting married, and she got married. So is it someone contemporary, someone your age?
Yeah, but actually she's a youngin'. She's 10 years younger than I am.
Oh, it's kind of like you and I.
Well, no, we're only 6 years apart.
And was this her first marriage?
It was her second.
It is her second because she's not going to have any more, right?
No, she's not.
Okay.
And what was a joy, Sue, is as we've been down the road to blissful divorces, to not be cynical, to actually take this honor and feel confident that this is a marriage I could stand up for and witness was a joy. Because I met this man. She hosted a retreat, and so Maria did the cooking. She was the cooking, the chef on the retreat, and then I got to meet him because he was part of it, and he was so delightful. And I just thought, wow, he's kind of restored my faith in the couple, in marriage.
Okay. So that's good to so like I didn't restore your faith in marriage or anything? Because I got remarried. This is my
You
second
did. I
marriage.
didn't get to witness it
I
though.
know, and whose fault is that?
Mine.
There's
I
no
own
fault,
it.
no
I
fault,
own it.
no fault, just responsibility.
I own it.
Okay, so you didn't get to witness it. Yeah, that's part of it. No, okay, but
And
all right. So
that's
you were
a
the
lot of it.
matron of honor. Is that what I understood?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and you said something. I got lost in
Oh,
our
just
waves.
the difference between being the maid of honor. I think about being a maid of honor in the wedding season of the 20s. And that you just kind of do it because your friend asks you to, and you get to wear a pretty dress and you're going to go and just be in this wedding. As opposed to when she asked me, I really wanted to think about it. Like, do I support the marriage? Do I like the man that she's marrying? Can I stand there and support it? Yeah, it's just a different take. The 20s, it's all about this cool day for this friend of yours, as opposed to, if I'm going to say yes, I'm going to approve of this marriage, support this marriage. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
seems so different. I liked being a matron of honor after having been married as well. I feel like I went into this with full knowledge and the ability. It's kind of like, if you're Catholic and you have like godparents, like I took this role very
she took this role very.
witness to this marriage that should not end. I don't think it will.
All right, so again, we cut out. This is going to be an interesting one to try to edit, but so we'll restate. It was different because you're a witness. You stood up for the person and vouch for it, and will defend that marriage rather than just be a passive member. So it's the traditional idea of what a maid of honor or a best man are, is someone who's going to stand up and back you and back the marriage. So that's an interesting
Correct.
take on it. Okay. All right. So you did a road trip with your daughter then. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, my daughter was asked to sing Ave Maria because she's singing opera, and that's the career path she's chosen. So this was the first time that she could go in front of a large audience that wasn't for a rehearsal or something through this, the university. So it was really fun. And she sung a stellar Ave Maria that brought all of us to tears and sobbing.
Oh,
It was great.
that is amazing. It's amazing because songs do that, and that's one of the most, we love this word, sacred thing when you do a ceremony to choose. I think the song just reaches the soul. It just digs in there. And yeah, so that was
Yeah.
cool. Did you
Yeah.
enjoy the road trip with your daughter, the mother-daughter time?
Do you know what? It was, I actually stayed the night at her commune. It's a beautiful house in La Jolla that overlooks the ocean. And there's like 7 bedrooms with a bunch of college roommates. And it ended up being lovely. No one was there. They're quiet. It was lovely. And then we got up the next morning, went to the airport, and it was just blissful having that time with her and then being in this beautiful environment. So yeah, it was great. Great.
So it's not really a commune, right?
No, I say it because I
Okay.
never lived in a house with 7 people and they're all sharing a kitchen and, 2 refrigerators and
I was just checking. I'm so glad it's not a commune. It's just a bunch of
yeah,
roommates. Okay, got
it
it.
is.
No,
It is.
my mother instincts were like, "What's going on? No, no, no. Let's not be in a commune." Okay. Not
Yeah,
that there's
yeah,
anything
no.
wrong with a commune if you so choose
Nothing
to, but
wrong.
yeah, okay. As a
Yeah.
mother, I kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so back to marriage. Um,
Yes.
So this person's about 10 years younger than you,
Mm-hmm.
and she obviously loves this person.
Mm-hmm.
And it was time, it's a second time, and we move on. So it sounds kind of traditional to me. Was the ceremony a traditional ceremony or?
Well, it was beautiful. They ended up moving back to New Jersey because his parents are needed to move from their home into a retirement home, and mom is in the moderate to late stages of Alzheimer's, and she's also got cancer.
Recurring stories. Oh,
Right?
yeah.
So they wanted to go back there to help support them in this transition, sell the house and all of it. And in this past year, at the new retirement home that they're in, they made friends with all these seniors because they're there all the time. And so they ended up having their ceremony in the senior center. And it was so great because it brought so much joy to the people there because, most of the time they're going to services that are not of that kind.
Right.
They were going to, right? So now they were going to a wedding and you could just feel everybody's excitement and joy because they've known the couple too. And, the parents are there. And so it was all taking place down in this retirement home. And the cutest part was it's one of those big ones, like the one we have in our hometown, you and I.
Hmm.
And it's just like this long wing. So here she has, oh, and she wore her mother-in-law's dress. And she's walking down this aisle, which is like the forever long wing of the building. And it was so cute because at the far end, they all gathered to meet her and they gave the kazoo, Here Comes the Bride song. But it was adorable because they all bonded. All these people surprised her by wanting to perform for her too. So it was
Okay.
just really a neat, like, give and give back, kind of a situation. It was gorgeous.
Okay. And did they say man and wife?
No, and it was great. It was female minister.
I lost you again.
They picked vows, but they also wrote their own vows. And it was very just partner equal, very opposite from the obey, which is what I did. I
Oh
did
my
the honor and
God.
obey
Oh
thing.
my God.
I know. Can you even
Did
believe
he
it?
say obey to you?
No, because it doesn't say that in the
Uh,
traditional thing. I do the
I
obeying.
wonder how.
I should have not done this, Sue.
I wonder if there are people that still do that, or what percentage of people still do that, because
Ooh,
it
that
seems
would
to
be
me that,
interesting.
all the traditional vows are gone. It's not always even directed, where it's like people will write their own vows and then just
Yeah.
say them. Um and that those push buttons that get me of the man and wife thing
Yeah.
is gone. So, the traditions I mean, marriage is a tradition and it's a cultural norm, and people did do this or have done this through time as a way to have stability, economic stability, and a family. And then supposedly, of course, procreation is the other purpose, the main purpose of marriage. However, that's changing because, like, your friend, 10 years younger than you, probably is not going to be procreating.
No.
So, that's what I mean. So then why do people bother to get married at that
Oh,
age?
such a good question.
And it really goes back to the other parts of it, the benefits that come with marriage, besides, life together and love and all that stuff. The idea, it's an economic relationship that helps and supports each other. You get tax benefits, you get health insurance, medical decisions can be made on your part, so you can go into the emergency room and so forth. Inheritance usually follows as well, social security benefits. So, that the logistics of real life happen through marriage. And when they're denied because of whatever reason, like maybe you're gay or something, then you're really limiting people, and you are also creating instability. So marriage is stability. I mean, yeah.
I'm as you were saying this, and I'm looking back, like, why did I do it back then? And for me, it wasn't about, I think it was about Why did I get married?
Love, wasn't it? I hear what you're saying. To me, it is for me, it was the idea of the romantic love. And so the next step in romantic love is to play out this life story according to society as you get married. It wasn't like, oh, well, I'm not going to bring half the money in or contribute economically to this relationship. And if we decide to have children, our intent is to have children. If we decide to do that and it works out for us, great. But it wasn't like, now that you're married, you will have children, one after the other. Yeah.
You know what? I was thinking the step that's ingrained in us. That's what you do. If you come from middle America, you graduate from high school, and if you choose the direction of college and you go to college, you get your degree, and then you get married, and then you have children, and then you empty nest them, and then you die. And that's just the process. And but I think that really I did it for all those reasons, but I just realized why I did it though. Because I was no longer in the in love stage. We had got 5 years under our belt. I think it's more like I wanted to feel like I had a partner to do this thing called life with. That's what I thought I was signing up
Yeah,
for.
and
Was
marriage
to
gives
have
that
a
guarantee.
partner
Yeah.
that could be there so we would have each other's backs no matter what happens and we die together. That's what I think I wanted out of marriage,
Yeah.
and that is what I did not have.
Agreed. Me
And
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I
and
think that's actually why I did it. And now I'm thinking why do people do it now? Because really get married to have children. We don't. In fact, we've now learned that we can divorce and still raise our children. So why do we marry to procreate? What is the point?
right. And so this ties in, the idea of religion. Religion says, in fact, that you are not to have a sexual relationship until you're married.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that was definitely something that was part of our
Yep,
time. And the difference was, oh my gosh,
that's true.
this,
100%.
this is by even
Hence the
having
white dress.
even having premarital sex
Woo-hoo.
is like, wow, but
Woo.
and so nowadays, thankfully, societal norms have changed around that, and the question becomes, why do get married? And it comes back to that idea, the joining of families for political and economic support. I mean, politically, you have a station in life based on that, but much more so, it's the economic, and I think that especially like people your friends' age, our age, you're talking about the ability to be in that emergency room together, and make decisions about their care, and then the monetary ways that we take care of each other. So if I can take care of you by leaving you an inheritance, that's something you do. I have your back even after I'm gone.
Yeah, well, I see it as frightening, the monetary thing, because I don't think that it protects us anymore. If you married wrong, it destroys you.
Oh, it
I've heard
can.
it,
It
right? So
absolutely
I think
can.
it's almost nowadays, if that's your reason, don't get married.
Well,
Just don't get married.
but you know what? That will happen regardless. So if you are cohabitating, you are going to be at some point declared as good as married. Civil marriage. What's it called? Um,
Is it really? Does
yeah,
it
yeah, well,
really?
yeah. And
Are you
I
sure?
am
Like, isn't it a
positive.
7 year thing?
It's yeah, and I'm positive. So at that point, they have rights to your economic situation as well as you to theirs. So I mean, that is still real. The difference is this one comes with tax benefits, and I guess even health insurance nowadays, you can if you have a partner, and you declare them your partner, then you can get your health insurance for that person. It is so why do people do it? I mean, because we're almost at a place where I hear you on the economic. I got a prenuptial agreement, so when I got married, we're preserving. Each of us believes because we were burnt to a crisp,
So bad, right?
burnt to a crisp. Each
Yes.
of us believes strongly in protecting ourselves, and if you
Yeah.
love this person right now, you protect them for later too. So each of us is preserved in that respect. Um, But in the meantime, we're receiving benefits. So, uh, so that's a formula in this modern world that works better. You're protecting each other for the good, and if some horrible mistake happens in your relationship or it falls apart or whatever, you're not destroyed economically.
Well, that's a conversation that had to have been had.
I didn't hear you. Say it again.
That discussion, a prenuptial discussion, had to have been uncomfortable.
Not at all. To the contrary.
Fantastic.
To the contrary. It's like,
Fantastic.
like, so you've heard each other's stories about how you've been burned. It's like, well, how
Right.
are we going to protect ourselves? How are we going to be smart about this? What have we learned that we can apply to this next one, this next stage? And I'm operating from the place where I, as a teacher, didn't earn very much, and so I have more to lose in that respect. On the other hand, I have a house, and it's a California house that is
Is
making equity.
everything.
And so I was on the higher end with regard to the house. She had her house too, but it wasn't in the same economically
zone.
stable place like where I live. So
Yeah.
things balanced out. And so taking that into context, I mean, it would be horrible if, economically, if we put in our pool together, put our money into the pool together, it makes us strong and stable, and it's very good. If that were to fail, and we dissolve our marriage, then it would be a hardship for both of us economically, but still we're going to be okay. I mean, I might have to move to Arizona or something, but
Right.
but on the other hand, being married gives you these benefits and privileges that relate to the economy that you'd be missing out on otherwise.
Well, my takeaway after marriage, I really believed that I would never divorce. Divorce was not an option. It was a one-way trip.
Same with me. Yep.
And so I fought till the bitter end until I realized I'm just going to die in one way or another. I'm going to die.
Yep.
And I guess what I realized was walking down that aisle is not why I stayed with him. It was because I made a promise, period. So my reasons for marrying at that time was this commitment in front of people, but I would have done it anyway. So I'm not so sure I believe in marriage like I used to, because what I learned was I will break that vow if it's not being held up on the other end, but I will hold my vow if it is. So do I need to get married?
Right. And that's what I think that's the part that it's interesting for people of our generation, our age, we went into this, we're not going to be divorced. That's not going to happen. And then to get to the place where we had to learn and understand and take in that you can only control so much, and from your point. And even on
Right.
your point, there's not everything you can control, but the other person, if they're not committed to that relationship and they've
Correct.
given up on the promises, then it's yours to walk away from. So
Yeah.
that's okay. That in fact is very healthy to
Yes.
do. Yeah, I mean, you don't just throw it away like it's nothing, but on the other
No.
hand, you've got to give it your best try. But if they're not trying, what
Right.
is the point? I mean, there is
Right.
none.
You
So,
can't carry it for two.
No. All right, so back to the actual marriage itself. You talked about the venue. What a very different venue than most people are doing. I think it's wonderful that that kind of thing happens with a second or a third marriage. Because I wouldn't see a young couple doing that.
No,
but
so true.
And then young couple, it could be anybody who's in their 20s or 30s. I think, do you see that people are walking away from the traditional idea of what that marriage is too? Like, does it have to be in a church? And then, like, who pays? Is it just the woman who pays for the wedding and the dress and so forth? Or are you seeing that more people are doing it their own way?
Well, I am not sure, Sue, because I am on the other side of 50 and I don't know a lot of people getting married now.
Mhm.
So I couldn't tell you actually.
And the young people in your life aren't getting married either, are they?
No.
Isn't that see, you know,
And I got to tell you right now, I'm thanking Jesus because my girls are 25 and 22, and I think about myself getting married at 23. Like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah.
And I am so relieved that I have not heard the M word come from their lips because I think I'm gonna. I don't know. I will have to drink a couple of days to get through the concept.
So, I looked up some information, of course, and they
Oh,
said that, only 27% of millennials at the same age that I got married are getting
yeah.
married. That
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, good
Um,
statistics.
so boomers, 65% of the people got married, you know, when they were young. Gen
Right.
X, it's
That's cut in half then. Worse.
well,
Less.
I
Better.
Gen Z has it's interesting the trends going like Gen X also the numbers were low and 59% of the people don't ever get married, you know, of Gen Xers they're saying. Um but Gen
Oh.
Z has a greater interest in getting married. So things are
Oh.
tending back. So the numbers are and it's too early to see, of course, because they're still young, but that
Oh, it's
the
starting to
trend
go
is
back up.
going back. And yeah, so it is interesting. I don't know. Maybe people are waiting till they're a little older, or if they're still looking at you know, it's about procreation. You want to be married to have a child. Um, yeah, not everyone's wanting to have a child, so I wonder if that trend will continue to go back up. I don't know. I think people like us, we do you know, people get remarried at our age because we were inculcated with the idea of marriage, and then
That's not
from
what you should do. That's what you should do.
right, and then
That's
if
the
you've got
should do.
and
The
if you
should.
and if you got religion and you're tied to it, then that's something that you
Then
will
you
do.
really should.
Yeah, and you look at the economy of it, and you can see the reasons for that. But
In
oh,
my mind, this stage and age inside of 50, it's all about, do you want the person that you're with, that you love, to be able to access you in the hospital?
and you could, in theory, have a document that says that. I think it depends on whether the hospital accepts that or not. You know, so who knows?
Yeah.
You know, okay. So back to
Yeah.
marriages today, weddings or what's it?
I'm
What?
not a real uplifter here, am I?
Well, I think you're not outside the norm here. What's the cost of a marriage nowadays on average? What do you think?
Ooh. So after seeing what I just saw, which was truly beautiful, um, it was so not over the top. There were flowers, some party favors off of Amazon, um, pizza, wine in cases, variety from Trader Joe's, uh, and fudge and saltwater taffy, Cowberry, New Jersey, for the cake, and coffee, Pete's, of course. So, and she tailored her mother in law's dress to fit her. Then there was Pete, the wedding singer. He was great. Um, I think if you cheaply did it, 6,000 at the bare minimum, and they did evites.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez, I would say 6,000 at the bare minimum, but probably what people are spending 10 to 15.
All right, so that bare minimum, it really that would be a bare bones, you know, right? And I like you know, you're stepping away from tradition and not having the paper invites and so forth. But and I think that marriage that you describe really looks like someone who does a second marriage when they're not having their whole family there walking down the aisle, all that
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, they're saying that the bare minimum usually is like around 10,000, and that
Ooh, so I
so
was 4,000
well,
under.
I'm saying I would say a second marriage is going to be different than a first marriage. So a first
Okay.
marriage maybe 10,000.
Okay. Okay.
The
Fair.
median or is between 30 and 35. Again, depends on where you live.
Wow.
But
Holy
the
crap.
venue costs a ton of money. So they've saved a ton on on the
Y-
venue by
Yeah.
being there, and it was meaningful. It made sense. Why are we spending money on a venue you use for one day rather than on a nice vacation for the two of us, or paying our bills, or buying for young people, putting a down payment. It's not going to put a down payment, but contribute to the down payment of a home,
Or
um,
a car.
or a car. Yeah, so things that are more. Uh,
Sue, let's get going on this.
what do you mean?
I've done a lot of thinking. So my parents couldn't afford my wedding, and we were doing this traditional because it was honor and obey. So I
Oh God.
saved $4,000 and I bought my own wedding.
Hmm.
And they contributed the photographer who was terrible. So I have all my pictures with my eyes half open.
Well,
Um
that was a real sign.
I know. I
Oh,
know.
I love that metaphor.
Yeah, so true. Anyway, and so his contribution was the honeymoon for 28 days. That's
At Motel
it.
6.
A- And worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had better too, the ones that gave us gifts. Anyway, the point is, I'm just coming at it is an absolute waste of money. I don't understand why we build this up and turn it into a fantasy thing. I'm hoping to
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
that this generation is done with the obsession of the one day of their life. It's like, make it simple. And if I had really done the wedding I wanted to do, I would have had a pretty dress that my mom would have made, which she did, and she did do a good job. I would have had it in the forest. I would have
Yes.
rented logs to be brought in, and if I had to, collapsible chairs, and we would have just done it in the forest. I would have asked you, let's say, to be my person that would marry us, and you get the $5 certificate. And
It's not
I would
$5
have
anymore.
whatever it is, but it can't be that much. And just have my
You'd be
favorite food.
surprised. Yep.
And if that's pizza, then pizza it is. And I just can't see spending all that money. And flowers, okay, yeah, fine, it's nice, but I just see it so different. I think you can create something beautiful and memorable and an experience without doing the thing that everybody does.
Yeah.
Again,
Well,
this
not
goes back into the
everybody,
whole,
but
okay, now I'm getting into a tirade. It's kind of the same concept as the cog. We are conditioned to believe that this is what you do. Instead of, this is your day, what are all the things you love and how would you do it?
and your value. Yeah.
And your value. But instead, you're beaten into this idea that you have to buy flowers and have them all over the place. You have to have these gorgeous dresses from designers, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I'm just so jaded, but I'm not jaded because what I saw was a beautiful wedding that did not have to break the bank.
Yep.
And even $6,000, let's say it was that. I don't even know how much it was. It's a lot of money.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's so you're not for a destination marriage or wedding, a destination wedding, huh?
What do you mean? Like it?
Oh, that's the new thing. Is everyone does well, young people, they do destination weddings where you go someplace that you
Pick a
want to go.
place.
Like I want to go
Yeah.
to Tuscany, or I want to go to Fiji, or I'm going to choose Paris or whatever. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. If I didn't like the family that was going to be coming and the friends that were going to be coming, I think I might.
Well, that's kind of like
You're gonna
eloping, yeah.
eliminate. So really, it would be like,
A
I don't
honeymoon.
know, like the craziest, most expensive place to arrive, so that no one would go.
There you
And
go.
then, you know what I mean? That's a great way to eliminate. But then you really have to ask yourself, if I hate this family,
Then what I'm in it, yeah. That's the other thing is like, we're speaking from a different perspective.
We so are.
Our parents are
We
gone.
so
So
are.
it's like it used to be
Yeah.
like you'd want your family there, your parents, your siblings, and your best friends, and your partner would too. And
Right.
so, yeah, our numbers are down
But
now.
and that was one of the riffs. He did nothing for the wedding, and he was so angry because my mom was eliminating how many people we could have because it was in a small church. And so he wouldn't even look at my mom, and my mom couldn't even stand him. And it was all about who we were going to invite. And that's another thing I want to get clear on. The second wedding, she only had people that were really close to her and the people that were at that old folks home. And it was beautiful, that intimacy. When you're younger, you feel this obligation and pressure to ask your secretaries at work, or people you're not even close to, but you might have a cup of coffee with on occasion.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's that
Yep.
pressure. So then you're hosting this ginormous party for people that really aren't even in your sphere.
Yeah.
And that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. It goes back to tradition where you would invite your community, not just your close friends, but your community as a way to tighten yourself within that community. And so
Mm,
there's reasons for that. And
mm,
when you're talking about survival, that's important. That's a very different thing than the survival of today where like you're saying, why do you have to
mm.
invite everybody? And yeah, and if your parents are paying for it, which nowadays most young people are figuring out ways to do it themselves, then they have a right to invite people that you wouldn't necessarily want to invite. And so that's another layer of it too. So it's all very interesting.
I think
That's what
in
Gigi
in
says.
conclusion, I believe that, for instance, with my daughters, no matter how painful, I want them to create a wedding that truly makes them happy, not anything that they should do. Like if it's a pajama wedding and they want a
Oh
pajama wedding,
God.
great. If they want to be just the two of them in some destination and no one's invited, then let them. I mean, this is their day. And I guess that's what I would say to all of the young listeners that we have listening, that when you get married, think outside the box and do what really deep inside makes you happy, and don't do it for everybody else.
Yeah, and I would give that advice, extend that through the rest of your life as well.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen. I now pronounce this podcast complete.
You may now give the conclusion.
Thanks for listening. Now let's pack up this week's episode in the trunk.
Ride shotgun and be a part of our adventure by clicking on the plus sign to subscribe and follow our show. This will help our ratings and, more importantly, inspire us to keep creating fun and engaging content. We would love to hear from you in the comment sections, or email us at retirepodcastnewtread@gmail.com. Use the fast track lane by sharing episodes with friends, family, and anyone who would like to join us on a road trip through retirement.
Be sure to check the show notes for links and contact information. Retired is chauffeured by Sue Britz and Tina Lokkbakk. It is produced, directed, and edited by me, Sue Britz. Music and graphics are by me too. Buckle up in that limo. Tune in next week so that you won't miss your chance to join our retired road trip. I've never been in a limo. Never. Not once. Never.
I did.
No, I didn't go to prom.
I think you got to do it. Do you have a desire?
Maybe.
Never too late.
Bucket list.
I think next birthday you should have a limo and go to your favorite restaurant in a limo ride with your favorite people with good beverages.